We begin now at the top of Daf Mem Dalid Amud Beis in Maseches Brachos. This is Berachos Daf 44b. The Gemara says, Amar Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimai Mishum Rabbeinu. Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi says in the name of Rabbeinu, Al Habeya ve'al mine kufra, on eggs and on kinds of meat. B'tchila mevarach shehakol. In the beginning you make a brach of shehakol. Ulevasof borei nefashos rabos v'chulu. And afterwards you make a bor nefashos. Aval yarkolo. But when it comes to vegetables, there's no need to make a bracha achrona. Rabbi Yitzchak Amar, Rabbi Yitzchak says, Afilo yarka, even vegetables need a bracha achrona. Aval mayalo, but water does not need a bracha achrona. For Rav Papa Amar, Rav Papa says, Afilo may, even water requires a bracha achrona. Mar Zutra Ovid Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi. Mar Zutra, he followed Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi that said that even on vegetables you don't need to make. Rav Simi Barashi Ovid Rav Yitzchak. And Rav Simi Barashi followed Rav Yitzchak that on vegetables you do need to make a bor nefashos. And the way to remember this is that the person who's referred to by one name without the name of his father, he followed the opinion of the person that had two names, meaning that he followed Mar Zutra followed Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimai, and then Rav Simi Barashi, who had two names, he followed the person with one name, he followed the opinion of Rav Yitzchak. Amar Rav Ashi says, Ano zimna dechi midkarna avidna kekulu. He says that at times when I remember, I would follow all of these opinions, meaning I would go even like Rav Papa, and even on water, when I remember, I would make a bor nefashos. Gemara now continues with the Mishnah. Tanan, it says in the Mishnah, Kol sheton bracha la'achrav, ton bracha lefanav. It says that anything that needs a bracha achrona requires a bracha rishona. B'yesh ton bracha lefanav, but there are some things that require bracha rishona, vein ton bracha la'achrav. They don't need a bracha achrona. So now, Bishlam Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi lafuke yarka. I understand, according to Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi, we quoted before, so vegetables would be something which does not require a bracha achrona. You could have something that requires a bracha rishona, not a bracha achrona. Rav Yitzchak lafuke mai. Same thing according to Rav Yitzchak. Water is an example of something which requires a bracha rishona, not a bracha achrona. El Rav Papa, but according to Rav Papa, lafuke mai, there's nothing to exclude. Even water, everything required a bracha achrona. So what does it mean over here? And when it quotes in the Mishnah, what does it mean when it says if it has a bracha rishona, sometimes it doesn't need a bracha achrona? When's the sometimes? So the Gemara answers lafuke mitzvahs. It could be to exclude mitzvahs. On mitzvahs, we make a bracha when we do a mitzvah beforehand. You don't make a bracha achrona. But the Gemara says, so the people of the West, when they would remove their tefillin, they would actually say a bracha. So they did say a bracha achron on mitzvahs. Lafuke mai. So what is it to exclude? What is an example, again, of something which has a bracha rishon and not a bracha achrona? The Gemara answers, Lafuke rechani. It could exclude smells. If you smell something nice, you make a bracha beforehand, but you don't make a bracha afterwards. Amar Rabbi Yanai says, Amar Rebbe in the name of Reb, Amar Rabbi Yanai, Amar Rav, Rabbi Yanai says in the name of Rav, Kol shehu kibetza, anything that is the size of a kibetza, betza tova mimenu. An egg is actually more healthy and more beneficial than that. So in other words, if you'd have a food the size of a kibetza, so it's better off. You're better off just eating a kibetza, eating an actual betza. Kiyasa Rav, and when Ravin came, Amar, he said, Tava be'asam megulgalasa. So it's better to have an egg which is lightly roasted, mishisa kaisi sulta. From six, a kaisi is an amount that holds a lug. So 6 lug of this kind of flour. Kiyasa Rav Dimi Amar, when Rav Dimi came, he said, Tava be'asam megulgalasa. It's better to have an egg that's lightly roasted, mishisa, from 6 lug of the soles. Matvisa, if it's well roasted, me'arba, then it's better than 4 lug of this flour. Mevushalta, and if it's a cooked egg, if you cook the egg in water, then that's where we say the principle which Rav Yanai said before, Kol shuka beitza tov hemenu. Then anything that is the size of an egg, you're better off having the cooked egg. So basically, according to Rav Dimi, that statement which we said before, Kol shuka beitza tov hemenu, is referring specifically to an egg that's cooked in water, levar mi bisra, but with the exception of meat. When it comes to meat, the meat is not necessarily worse than the egg. The Gemara now continues at the 2 dots. Rabbi Akiva Omer afilo achal shalak v'chulu. So Rabbi Akiva said, even if a person eats cooked vegetables and it's eaten for a meal, the person benches. So the Gemara says, Umika midi da v'shalak mezone. Is there any situation of a cooked vegetable that's really like a meal? Amar Rav Ashi says, beklach shel kruv shana. We're talking about if you have the stalks of cabbage, that can really fill a person, it can satiate a person. Tanar Rabbana, we learned in a brisa, t'chol. If you eat spleen, yafa l'shinayim, it's good for the teeth. V'kash livnei, but it's difficult on the stomach. Krishin, if a person eats leeks, so then kashin l'shinayim, it's difficult for the teeth. V'yafin livnei mayayim, the opposite, and it's good for the stomach. Kol yerek chai morik, anytime a person eats a raw vegetable, it makes his skin pale. V'chol katan maktin, if a person eats something which is not fully developed, it's hasn't ripened fully, it makes a person smaller. V'chol nefesh meishiv es hanefesh, anything living rejuvenates the soul. We'll see that in Rashi what it means. V'chol karov lenefesh meishiv es hanefesh, and anything close to the soul rejuvenates the soul. So let's take a look at Rashi over here. Kol nefesh means davar chai, a living thing, hanechol shalim, which is eaten whole. Kegon dagim ketanim, for example, if a person eats small fish, shegadlu kol tzarchim, which are fully grown. And then hakarov l'nefesh, what does it mean? It's close to life. Ha'ochel min ha'behema b'makom chiyas shela. If a person eats from an animal in the place where it gets its life from, ulakaman mefarish shela. Later on, we're going to explain exactly what this means. And then the Gemara concludes over here, karuv l'mazon, so cabbage is good for a meal. V'tardin l'rafua, and beets are good for healing a person. Oilo l'bayis shalefes overes besoch, and woe is to the house which turnips are eaten in that house. So the Gemara now continues that the two dots, Amar Mar, the master said, T'chol yafel l'shinayim v'kasha livnei mayayim. It said again that the spleen is good for the teeth and bad for the stomach. Mai takante, what's the solution? Nilase v'nishti, you should chew it and spit it out, so it'll be good for your teeth, but it won't go into your stomach. Karishin kashin l'shinayim v'yafel livnei mayayim. Then we said that leeks are difficult for the teeth, but good for the stomach. Mai takante, what's a good solution? L'shlakinu v'nivleinu. If you cook and you swallow it without letting it touch the teeth, so it'll be good for the person's stomach and it won't harm the teeth. Kol yerek chai, if a person has any kind of vegetable which is raw, morik, it makes the skin pale. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak says, B'su'ud rishona shel achar kaza. This is specifically referring to eating these vegetables in the first meal after bloodletting. That's when it's harmful. V'yamar Rabbi Yitzchak, and Rabbi Yitzchak says, Kol ha'ochel yerek kodem arba shos, aser l'saper heimenu. Anybody who eats yerek before 4 hours into the day, it is aser to speak with that person. My time, what's the reason? Mishum reicha, causes that a person has bad breath. When it's very early in the day, he hasn't eaten anything yet, it's going to cause bad breath. V'yamar Rabbi Yitzchak, and Rabbi Yitzchak says, Asr l'adam sheyochel yerek chai kodem arba shos. It's forbidden for a person to eat raw vegetables before 4 hours of the day. So two statements of Rabbi Yitzchak, one where he says you can't speak with such a person, the other one where he says you can't eat the yerek at that time. Ameimar umar zutra v'ravashi have a yasvi. So Ameimar, Mar Zutra, and Ravashi, they were sitting and they were eating. Aisa kamayu yerek chai kodem arba shos. This exact situation happened where raw vegetable came in front of them and it was earlier than 4 hours in the day. Ameimar v'ravashi achol. So Ameimar and Ravashi ate it. Umar Zutra lo achol. And Mar Zutra wouldn't eat. Amruleh, they said to my daitach, what's your reasoning? Dam Rabbi Yitzchak, because Rabbi Yitzchak says, Kol ha'ochel yerek kodem arba shos aser l'saper himenu, that anybody who eats the yerek at this time, you can't talk to him. Mishum reicha, because of the smell. V'ha'anon dekoach linan, but we ate it. V'kam ishtayis badan, and you are talking with us. So what's going on? So Amar Lui said to them, Anoki idoch to Rabbi Yitzchak sviruleh. Now I hold of the other statement of Rabbi Yitzchak that you're not allowed to eat. So I don't think it's a problem to speak with you, but I hold it's a problem to eat it. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, because Rabbi Yitzchak said, Asr l'adam sheyochal yerek chai kodem arba shos. It's forbidden for a person to eat raw vegetables before 4 hours of the day. The Gemara now continues quoting the previous brisa. It says, Kol katan maktin, anything small that a person eats, meaning it's not developed, makes a person small. Amar of Chisda said, Afilo gadya bar zuzah, even if you have like a kid goat that's worth a zuz, which would seem to be a valuable kid goat, but still, since it's not fully developed, it could be harmful to eat. Velo amran el deles be riva. Now this is only true if it hasn't grown a quarter of its size, aval isbe riva, but if it's grown a quarter of its full size, less lunba, it's not a problem. Call nefesh meishiv nefesh. Then it said anything, if you eat something alive, then it rejuvenates the soul. Amar Rapapa says, Afilo gildani devei gili. Even gildani devei gili, Rashi explains as follows: Dogim ketanim o. These were very small fish, and mitsuyin bein hakonim ba'agam. They were found amongst the reeds in the swamp. It was not normal for them to grow more. If you'd have a small fish, but it's a species of a bigger fish, and it just hasn't grown a quarter the size, that would be a problem. That would be something that is too small, too immature to eat. So the Gemara now continues quoting the earlier statement. Kol hakarov lenefesh meishav es hanefesh. It said that anything that is close to the soul, you eat a part of the meat that's close to the soul of the animal, again, it rejuvenates the soul. Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov unka. Rav Acha bar Yaakov says this refers to the neck area where the person does shechita of the animal. Amar le Rava l'shame, Rava would say to his servant, Ki maisis li umtza de bisr, when you bring me some meat, tarach va'aisi li mehecha de mekarv levei baruch. Bring it near the area where you say baruch, meaning where you say the bracha on the shechita. Then it said kruv lamazon v'tardan l'refuah. So it said cabbage is good as food, and beets are good for refuah, for healing. So kruv lamazon in v'lerefuah lo. So cabbage is good for food, but it's not good for healing. V'atanya, but we learned in a brayso, shisha devar merapen esachol mecholio. There are 6 things that can heal a sick person from his sickness. Urefuas and refuah, and it will be a good healing. V'elo and here are the following 6 things. Kruv again refers to cabbage. V'tardan and beets. Umesisin refers to something called dry pennyroyal. Devash is honey. V'kev is the stomach. V'heres is the womb. V'yoseres hakavid is the diaphragm. These items heal a person. So the Gemara answers, Elaima kruv af lamazon. Rather, what you should say instead is that cabbage is also good for a meal, but it's of course good for healing as well. Then it said, Oilo lebayis shalefes overes besocho. Woe is to the house which a turnip goes within it. Ini, is that really true? V'amar le Rava l'shame, but Rava said to his servant, Ki chazis lift the b'shuk, if you see the lefes, if you see the turnip in the shuk, lo teimali b'may karachter, if don't ask me what you should bring with the bread. Meaning, for sure I want you to buy the turnip, that's a good thing to accompany the bread when we're eating. So Amar Abaye says, Mibli basar. So what that means is no, the turnips are bad if they're without meat, but if you cook them together with meat, it weakens the strength of the turnip and it then becomes healthy. V'Rava amar mibli yayin. Rava says without wine, if you drink wine together again with the lefes, then it won't be a problem. Itmar was learned the following machlokas. Rav amar mibli basar. Rav said it was again without meat. Shmuel amar mibli eitzim. Shmuel said without wood, meaning if you don't cook it a lot under the fire. That's the idea of wood. But Rav Yochanan amar mibli yayin. And Rav Yochanan said that without wine, again the turnips are harmful. Amar le Rava le Rav Papa. Rava said to Rav Papa, Sudni. The Sudni seems to be a nickname that he called Rav Papa. Rashi says it refers to the fact that Rav Papa brewed beer, and then in the Masoras Hashas over here, it actually says that the word Sudni comes from the fact that he's a Yorei Shamayim. It says, Ba'arach, quotes the Arach, Peres Sudni, Yorei Shamayim, K'nechsiv, Sod Hashem Li'Yireyev. So a couple of opinions of why Rav Papa was referred to as Sudni. So he said to him, Anon Tavrinon La B'Bisra V'Chamra. We break down the strength of the turnips with meat and wine. Atun de lo nafish l'chu chamra. You who don't have a lot of wine, but my tavrisula. How do you break down the strength? Amar Leis, I said, Betzivi, we use wood chips. In other words, we use fire, we cook it well. Kihad devisa de Rapapa, like we have a story of the wife of Rapapa, Basar de Mevashlala, after she cooked it, Tavrala, she broke it down, Betamnan ufe parsaisa, which means with 80 logs. She used a lot of wood to cook the turnips. Taner Rabban, we learned in a brayso, dog katan maliach. If you have a small fish that's salted, pa'amim shehumemis. Sometimes it can be very harmful. It could even be fatal. In the following situations: b'shiva in the 7th, b'shiva asr in the 17th, uvi'esrim b'shiva in the 27th, v'yamri la b'esrim u'shlosha, and some say in the 23rd. What does this mean? Rashi explains: pa'amim shehumemis ve'elohein b'yom shiva yamim limli chaso. 7 days after it was salted, or b'yom shiva asr, b'yom shiva v'esrim, or 17 days, 27 days, etc. Gemara now qualifies. It's only true if it's only partially cooked or roasted properly. But if it's cooked properly, it's not a problem. And even then, if it's not fully roasted, it's still not a problem. It's only a problem if you don't drink beer after. But if you drink beer afterwards, it's not a problem at all. Gemara now continues quoting the Mishnah of Hashos Mayim L'Tzmo V'Chulu. It said if you drink water for thirst, what bracha do you make? So first the Gemara wants to know why else would you drink water? Lafuke Mai, to exclude what situations? Amar Ravina Baravin Lafuke Leman, to exclude somebody who, and the Gemara will give us this example in the next daf, on daf Mem Hey Amar Aleph.